Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's episode 109 and today I just want to start things off by asking you guys a bit of a question. I want to know, what do you want to see more of on the Hermitcraft server? Now I like to do this every now and again just so I can get a gauge of where you want the Hermitcraft series to go, because of course we've been doing a lot of building lately, that's been a lot of fun, but also we've been doing some farming related things lately, that's been pretty cool. We've been doing a little bit of collab work here and there and just a whole bunch of other general bits and bobs, and I just want to know, what is it that you want to see more of in this series? I'm going to try my best to take as much feedback as possible, listen to you guys as much as I possibly can, and then of course I will pull that feedback through into the Hermitcraft series, and you should hopefully begin to see more of the popular opinions appearing in the episodes. So let me know down in the comment section. But anyway, today's episode is going to be a bit of an interesting one because we're going to be working on a project which I have no idea about the scale of. I have no clue how long this is going to take, how massive it's going to be, but what I want to do is I want to create a custom Mumbo Jumbo map. Oh, just saying those words has made it sound a little bit bigger. So to do this, we're going to need to build something that looks a little bit like that, but on the floor in the map here. Now, the reason that I was just looking at my pink terracotta supplies is because that's what we're actually going to be using to create the background for this thing, because as you know, my little avatar fella, it's like a between pink and red sort of colour, and then obviously we've got, I mean the avatar's right there, this is what it looks like. It's also obviously underneath the video as my YouTube avatar, but it's kind of like a pinky red colour, and the closest that I could get to it is pink terracotta on the map. So this is what it looks like actually on the map right now. And we're going to need something in the ballpark of 13,000 of these blocks. 13,000. Now, is that a lot? I feel like that's, I mean, it's about 170 stacks. Yeah, that's quite a lot. No matter how you say that, that's quite a lot of blocks. Actually, I've just done the maths, and it's only around about 7 shulker boxes if I get 200 stacks of hardened clay. That isn't actually that bad. That's entirely doable. So I'm going to craft myself up around about 10 shulker boxes here just to be safe. Let's just do the chests and then the shulker boxes. So these are all going to be filled in with terracotta. Now I don't think pink terracotta is definitely not in mesa biomes. So I think what we're going to have to do is, well, first off, we're going to have to pick up a beacon, and secondly, we're going to have to pick up regular terracotta that we're then going to dye using the roses from the iron farm and also the bone meal from our mob farm that's over there. This looks completely bonkers, look at this! So CubedHost has been working on his tunnel, going through to his base, which is completely insane, but he's done like a little merger between our two tunnels, and it looks fantastic. This is really, really cool. Oh, nice! Okay, this looks much more complete than just having netherrack up at the top here. Can anyone confirm if this is my beacon or not? A lot of people have been saying that I left my beacon over in this area. That would kind of make sense, but I don't want to steal someone else's beacon. Okay, so instead of removing that beacon from the gaming district, I thought it would be safer and potentially less steely if I took my own beacon from down in this cave system. I mean, how long has this been here? This must have been here for many months. It's probably about time that I actually claim this thing back. Okay, I hit a magma cream, and now all the zombie pigmen are freaking out at me. Those dudes are definitely chasing me. This guy doesn't seem fussed by me. It's been ages since I've done this. And now I've forgotten my ender chest. This is not a good start to the episode, I tell ya. Beacon is in, haste 2 is activated, and I've managed to find a pretty decent location to get started, which is too high when it comes to the standard hardened clay, but it is slightly full of mobs at this point in time, so I've got to be quite careful. But anyway, let's get to this. It may have been smart for me to bring some lighting things with me. I don't know why I didn't bring any torches, but I didn't, so now we have a very big, very dark mob spawner in this area here. Oh my word, you see what I mean? Yeah, definitely need to light things up. That is hilarious, how many mods, oh my word. They are everywhere, look at that. Right, torches. Bad news, guys. I am so dead. Get me out. I actually made it. That is ridiculous. There were so many mobs in there. Everything is now fully lit up, and I would say in total I've managed to put in around about 45 minutes of mining. I think we're on about 3 full shulker boxes of hardened clay, but obviously the pickaxe constantly needs repairing, so I've been back and forth to this place a handful of times. That being said, progress is coming along very nicely. Ever since I actually lit up this place, I'm finally starting to listen to you guys. I'm lighting up as I go along. Now that this place is lit up, I'm not being attacked by mobs constantly, and I'm actually being able to take out this entire area really quite quickly. I mean, look at the size of this place already. Bit of a progress update for you. We are now around about 5, maybe 4.5 shulker boxes in. Or is it 5? I can't remember. We are making pretty solid progress. I think I said that 7 was the top, so we're more than halfway. You can hear the sounds of mobs. There's a massive cave system over there, so you have to be a little bit careful. But right now, we are fairly plain sailing. However, I am going to have to go back to the base again at some point shortly. I don't know what's more satisfying, taking out massive areas with an efficiency 5 haste 2 beacon, or that. I mean, that has got to be up there as one of the most satisfying noises in Minecraft. The sound of lots and lots of guardians dying all at once. It can be tricky though. That, my friends, is that. We're all done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shulker boxes filled with hardened clay. That is just under 14,000 bits of hardened clay. Not too bad. Right, let's go back through into the base, and then we can start working out how we're going to get 5,000 bits of snow. Well, I think that could potentially be the answer. Over there, we've got ourselves plenty of snowy biomes, but before we do anything like that, unfortunately, I'm all out of time for today, so I am going to put all my items inside a chest, because I do not want to lose all of these shulker boxes, and then I'm going to go AFK overnight outside the iron farm. I don't know how fast this thing's meant to be, but I feel like it should be faster than this. We only got maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 more stacks? Actually, that's pretty good for just a double iron farm. Anyway, aside from that, we are now over at the ice spikes biome so that we can pick up all of these snow blocks. Now, as I say, we need about 5,000 of them, which actually shouldn't be that bad. I mean, there's plenty of snow blocks around. I just need to make sure that I'm not taking out dirt, which is definitely going to happen quite a bit. Right, the first shulker box has now been filled with snow blocks. At least I thought it had, but we still have 1 slot to go. And I have to say, I do feel a little bit bad because I love the look of ice spike biomes. They're one of my favorite biomes. And I've ruined it. That looks awful. I actually don't know if there's going to be enough snow blocks either. This is a small ice spike biome. And now we have 2 and a bit shulker boxes of snow. But I think we need about 2.5, maybe 3 in total. But as I say, I mean, if we just do a bit of a progress update in terms of what the ice spikes biome now looks like, it's not really an icy, well, there's ice, but there's definitely not much snow anymore. But now we're all done. This entire area has now been removed of pretty much all of its snow, but we have 3 full shulker boxes of snow blocks. And that combined with, I think, our 8 or 9 shulker boxes of hardened clay, that should come together to create the full Mumbo face. So now we have to find a location for this thing. We need to dye all of the hardened clay. That's very important. And then we need to start work on building it, which, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit scared for. Thankfully, because we have so many roses and also so many bones from the iron farm and also the skeleton farm, actually dyeing all of this terracotta has been pretty easy. Those are all the shulker boxes that I've done so far. So we've got 4, we're doing the 5th right now. And you just kind of shift click them in, and then shift click this, shift click that, open this back up, and chuck them all back in. Pretty simple process. I'm actually, you know, I was scared before I started this project that I wasn't going to be able to do it all in today's episode. I think we might be able to pull this off. Now, one thing that I want to make sure of when I'm building this thing is that it's not visible from the base, which I think we've probably gone far enough out, so I'm just going to fly around a little bit, and I'm just going to make sure that nobody's in the area, because that would be really frustrating if I build something giant over someone's base. But I actually think that this looks pretty good. Or should we build it over the ocean so that we don't have to worry about lighting up underneath? I feel like that's a nicer idea. Okay? here goes. Just gonna do a quick once around. Yeah, we're looking pretty clear. Map has been activated. So here it is. This is going to be the spot. So, plan number 1 is to place in the entire outline. So we're going to be covering this 128 by 128 area, fully in blocks, and I think I'm starting to realize now just how big this thing is. Yeah. I mean, we haven't even done one line yet. And just a few more blocks to go now, and we should be complete on the outer ring. There we go. Okay, so there is the space that we've got. Let's fly up and actually see what it looks like in person, because this is going to be the space that we actually have to fill, which isn't too bad. And if we look on the map, you can see, or you might be able to just about see, that we have got a pink outer edge going around the outside. We've got a pink border to this thing. Okay, right, let's start working our way inwards then. I don't know how many blocks I have to go in, but I think it's only about 3 or 4, and then we have to start work on the mustache. One thing that does keep happening though is that I keep falling off the edge. If I hold shift and do this and just walk along, it takes ages. So I'm kind of doing a technique where I'm looking at the value that I'm actually facing in and trying my best to keep it as close to 90 degrees as possible as I walk backwards, but it's incredibly difficult. So I have managed to create a 6 block wide border going around this entire thing. Now the reason that I've gone for 6 blocks is because this is the size of the actual face. So the mustache comes up to these blocks right here, and then it will go off and around in that direction and do something like that, and then the eyes will be somewhere over there. Now I'm thinking that in terms of actually building this thing, I think it would be a good idea to actually place in the blocks that are at the top and the bottom, because there's quite a lot of space up at the top and the bottom between the face. So we can place in those hardened clay blocks there, and it will come to about this point. And then once we've done that, we can then map out where the eyes and the mustache is going to go. We'll build out those shapes, and then we'll fill in all of the rest of the space with the hardened clay. I think that seems like a good idea. Now, one thing that I keep noticing, and I've seen you guys noticing occasionally down in the comment section, is sometimes when I'm placing blocks, a weird black particle comes out. And typically, it's not doing it at this point in time. I don't know, I'll see if I can point it out later on in the episode. And that right there is the bottom section done as well. So we have got the bottom area, that comes up to the bottom of the mustache. It's, I think, 24 blocks high in total, or is it 26? So we've got a 6 block border going around here, 24 blocks there. Now we just have to do the one for the top, and then we can finally start work on the face, which I'm excited, but also slightly terrified for. And now, this part is done, just as it starts raining. Okay, so that should give you a rough idea of how big this actual face is going to be. And yeah, I mean, it's not something that you can really get excited about. This has taken a good few hours. Well, it's taken a lot of hours, including the resource gathering and everything. And so far, all I've done is I've created a big pink box with a smaller box on the outside. Not exactly impressive, I have to say, but this is where things begin to get exciting, because now I've got to do a lot of pixel counting. Yeah, I hadn't really thought of that. This is going to be really tricky. These are really complicated shapes to build out. I mean, look at this thing! Look at it! This is more complex than any circle I've ever built. Do you think it would be smarter to do the outline in the actual snow? Yes. Yes, I absolutely do think that would be smarter. Okay, I'm going to line myself up like this. I'm going to leave this on the other screen, and then I'll get to it. Okay, definitely should have lit this place up, or at least brought a bed, because a creeper has just sent me sky high and down to half a heart. Oh, there are so many mobs around here, I hadn't even noticed. Okay, this has been a bit of a struggle, and it's had a few rebuilds, but that should be side number 1 of the mustache. And if you're asking me, that looks pretty good. Nice! Ah, I love it. I love it. Well, first off, looking at it on the map is pretty cool. I seem to have hit the ground. I hadn't realised that was going to happen. But if we... What is going on with my fireworks at the minute? As I was saying, if we look at this from above, it looks like a pretty grand structure. Alright. Cool, okay, so we're going to just repeat the same thing on the other side. Hopefully this should be easier because I kind of know what I'm doing-ish, sort of. I can't believe it. I've actually managed to build this thing without mistakes. Well, as far as I can tell, it seems to match up perfectly with the other side. And there is the mustache. And they work. It worked. I am in shock. I am totally in shock with this one. I have to say, I was not expecting that. Okay, I've got a beaming smile on my face. Let's start work on the eyes. Let's work off of that victory. Continue working. We'll get the eyes in. Oh, that never feels good. That never feels good. What on earth have I done here then? Come on. What's gone wrong? Thankfully, I got it fixed, and now let's do the reveal once again. Good. Okay, that definitely looks like one of my Mumbo eyes. Let's just quickly take off and see what it looks like from the sky. This is going to be my standard thing, by the way. This is the way that I'm going to be reviewing each one of these changes. But yes, that looks great. Okay, let's do the second one. Let's get this thing finished, and then we can finally fill in all of the remaining blocks, and of course, all of the snow blocks as well. And this is the final block. That's it. Mumbo face all fully completed and looking glorious, if I do say so myself. I do kind of wish that the pinky color was a little bit more pinky on the actual map, but there's nothing we can really do about that. I mean, we could have used concrete, I suppose, but that would have been so much sand and so much gravel that it just would have taken days. It would have taken days. So this is perfect. Okay, you know the drill. We now have to fill in all of these gaps right here with the hardened clay. I like to think that it won't take too long, but yeah, the scale of this thing's pretty big. Progress is coming along pretty nicely. I've managed to fill in the gap between the mustache, or at least the far side of the mustache, and the left eye. And it's relatively quick because I can do things like this. So I just place in the blocks, and I can just go along like this really nice and quickly. I don't have to worry about falling off any edges anymore. I can just keep pressing, and there it was! That was the black particle that I was talking about earlier on in the episode. I don't know where it comes from. What on earth is it? For the most part, all of the pink is now all in place. Let's just go down this line. I'm getting very good at going between these blocks, but I'm actually getting to the point where I'm getting pins and needles in my hands, which is very strange. That hasn't really happened before, but I don't often have to rapid place blocks for long periods. So let's just see if we can get this. This is a longer line than I was expecting, but there we go. So we have covered all of the top area. We just have a tiny bit of space underneath the mustache, and then that will be all of the pink. All of the hardened clay all in place. And yeah, it looks good. I mean, it looks like a giant Mumbo face. I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed by the scale of this thing. I hope a hermit just accidentally flies over the top of this at some point. That would be amazing. So now that that's all done, and we have got ourselves one completed pink face in the area here, it is now time to fill in the mustache and the eyes. I mean, there has been a lot of block placing in today's Hermitcraft episode. There's been block breaking to gather up all the blocks, and then there's been block placing to actually place them all in. But that's totally cool because I'm really happy with how all of this has turned out, and I just can't wait to place these maps all over the place. I'm going to make a whole ton of them. Now, the only thing that I will say about this, now that I've actually finished up one side of the mustache, is that the snow has gone a little bit grey. In fact, the whole image is almost a tiny bit grayer than the actual one is in real life, which is a bit of a shame. You know, we can't really do too much about that. It still looks pretty cool, though. But, oh, it kind of looks better in person. It actually looks better on the Earth than it does in the map. Still good, but yeah, just a bit dull. The colour is just a bit... Look! That's not the same colour as the one in the map. And neither's that. And that is the mustache finished. Cool, okay, now that we actually have all the blocks in, even though it is a little bit dull, it does look good though. It looks good. I think once we get all the blocks in place, I feel like this blue is just really, really vibrant. Once we actually get all the blocks in place, it's going to end up looking pretty cool. And now that's one eye done. That's all done as well. Okay, we're knocking them down now. This is coming together well. Oh, and it's looking cool too. Oh, I'm excited. I want to get this last eye done. Which we now have project completed. 1 Mumbo Jumbo face map. Now this is so cool. I didn't know if I was actually going to get this finished in today's Hermitcraft episode. I didn't really know how long it would take just to put the shape in. And I know this isn't a particularly complicated pixel art, and I'm sure there's people out there who do much more insane things like this. Well, I know that there's people out there that do much more insane things than this, but I'm happy with it. I think this looks great. Oh, I think it looks brilliant. Now, I'm going to try my best. Let's see if we can get the screenshot for the thumbnail of this episode. Right, so I'm going to fly in like this, and I want to capture it there. That'll do. That'll do me fine. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Mumbo Jumbo map. Expect to see this popping up here and there on the Hermitcraft server. I have no clue what I'm going to do with it just yet. I just think it would be cool to have like a custom painting that I can put throughout my builds. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. And as per usual, check out the latest film on the filming channel. Link will be on the end screen.